2005 Jeep front wheel bearing hub assembly replacement. For that, we're going to remove our front tires. Then we're going to remove our axle nuts. So first things, gonna have to lift your vehicle, put them on safety stands. Let's remove the tires now. Alright, next, after we have removed our tire, we're gonna remove our brake caliper. We got two number 13mm bolts, one on the top and one on the bottom. So we're gonna remove this, and then we're gonna be able to remove our brake disc. So 13mm bolts, and get them loose. Remove the one on the top. Also have your bungee here or something to hold your caliper in the air, so you don't put pressure on the brake hose. All right, prior to removing our brake caliper, I like to release the hydraulic pressure with the screwdriver. We're gonna try to catch the inside lip of our brake rotor. We're gonna pull this way. All right, once we have already release our pressure, then we can remove our brake caliper. Just remember, when you're ready to get your vehicle on the road, before you even put them on reverse, you want to depress your brake pedal a couple of times until you feel it firm. That way your brakes are touching already against the rotor. Otherwise, you're going to go back and then you won't have brakes for a couple of seconds and you can crash into something. So first, depress your brake a couple of times, because releasing the pressure on the calipers, it leaves a gap in between. So if you press it once and you're ready in reverse and then you press it again, you could hit something until you're really making contact with your brake pads against the rotor. So be careful with that. Next, we're going to remove a cotter pin. You just straighten it up and then remove it. Pay attention to your smaller washer that goes first, and then your lug nut stopper or retainer nut, and then we're going to remove our axle nut. Axle nut is at 36mm. 36. Also, we're going to remove our 3 bolts in the back. I got them loose already. It's a 13mm socket. It's that type of socket you're gonna need, like 12 star shape. 3 bolts, 1, 2, and the third one over here on this side. So 3 bolts. I think we're gonna remove them. But we're gonna remove our lug nut first. So to remove this lug nut over here, the axle nut, I have to use a torch and put some heat on the nut, because it was very seized on it, and then I was able to remove it. Sometimes you can use a breaker bar. So you can set it up like that, a breaker bar, and like hold it right there like that, and then you can use a long breaker bar attached to your socket, and then that way you can break it off. But I was trying like that, but I had any luck, so I had to use a heat torch, and I was able to remove it. Now it's loose. Now we're gonna take that out, and I'm gonna see if I don't have to fight now the wheel bearing hub assembly off of the knuckle. Hopefully not. I was able to remove the hub assembly without any fight. I just have to use a hammer and hit it on the corners. Hit it on the corners. The backing plate, we're just gonna leave it in place. And this bar tends to come with it out, so just keep it in place. And from the front of your wheel bearing, just hit it just slightly so it breaks loose from the inside over here, and then it stays there. Also want to show you how bad this wheel bearing is, that I can even shake it and I can hear the movement. That's how bad it was. So we're going to replace both of them. Both of these wheel bearings are bad, so we're just going to replace them. And how do we know the wheel bearings are bad? Well, let's say for example this is the wheel, the tire. You're going to grab from the top, from the bottom, and you're going to try to move it up and down, up and down. And if it has a movement, then you know your wheel bearing is bad. For example, this one over here, you're going to grab it from the bottom, top. You're going to go in. When you go in on the top, then you're going to go out on the bottom, and vice versa. So you're going to try to move the tire. If it moves, has any play, then your wheel bearing, it's done. You just have to replace it for a new one. Right after we have installed our wheel bearing 3 bolts, the torque spec that I find out is going to be 75 foot-pounds. The axle nut, it's 175 foot-pounds. So we're gonna have a setup to 170 foot-pounds, and we're gonna tie them up. That's what you want to hear on your axle nut, 175 foot-pounds. And like I said, on the 3 bolts on the back are 75 foot-pounds. So that's all you need. All you have to do is put your brake caliper back in place, put your rotor, and that's all for installing your chrome wheel bearing assembly. Also, don't forget to put your lock nut in place and your safety pin. Those are critical components. If in any scenario the axle nut came loose due to vibration or whatever cost, this one, use a lock nut washer and your pin will keep it in place. So don't forget to install that. All right.